Coming straight, straight, straight. It's gonna change the game. That's it. It's gonna change the game. It's gonna change the game. Maybe it's supposed to be. How about that? Alright. We're gonna start off with the reading. We're going to the original script of what we call Quran. This Quran is part of my family. And for those who are in the bloodline of the Prophet Muhammad, we say peace and blessings upon him, which is whom, which is who, which is which is you, which is your vibrational flow. So for the things you need to do, these are the priorities before you step outside your tribal heritage, inheritage, her, writ, age, year, body, solidified. So we'll go with alif, ba, ta, tha, jim, ha, kha, dal, dal, re, zay, sin, shin, sword, dod, ta, sa, ta, za, kaf, kaf, lam, mim, nun, ha, wa, ya, alif, tamabuta. Sword, dod, ta, za, ayin, gayin, fa, kaf, kaf, lam, mim, nun, ha, wa, ya, lam, alif, tamabuta. We start off by saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of all life, the life giver. And it's an order to the life giver. And those who appreciate, those who have faith and do the things that we're supposed to do, is a big up. There's many things that's been going down as far as what's going on, who's in control, what legacy has been left, who's the Caliphate. And as was taught from polytheism and monoism, we are many. Collectively, different degrees, some just waking up, some have woke up and fell asleep, some straddled the fence, some 100, and a little more visionary. Each 100, each individual as a collective, united, which is the word love, unity, that was agreed. So these things we say with the infinite flow to manifest the truth. El-Haq, El-Haq, El-Haq. You can say it 3 times for emphasis. You can say it 2 times for the B. The B is what? The 1 and the 3. What do it represent? It depends on who you be. That's how it goes. It will always be like that. But introducing the new current events, we got that 929 label. working out here in the Midwest, I was given the opportunity to go ahead and put forth, what you put in, what you get out. So this is a starting point for me to head introduce my birthright, BK, born king, from the B, Bush, the light one divine. As far as a unit, is it familiar? It was a something that was not written in the book. See, what happened is when who we be is not written by those who is not me and you. When we say enemy, he not me. It's not enemy. Did that, and he says this, and what's called going to define. The word definition is the death of a nation. That's why you have your own oracles. You have your own, not just made up people just want to be hip, you know. But it's okay. Whatever you do your best because we're not here for that today. We're here for the reading. You see, we're not here for the individual. What you talking about now in the Holy Quran that you have? Uh, it's the wrong chapter. Chapter one should be original order. It's chapter 96. So you can Google now. It's been some time that we made the change, and for the correction, you set the record straight. This is part of Set the Record Straight. This particular book is from Dr. Malachi Z. York for the HTM. Okay? Recognize the frequency of what you hear, and those who articulate and explain that which cannot be explained by even those who wrote it, because those who wrote it was actually being utilized to do this. You know it. You don't live that life. You was not in that sun. That sun, when that sun dissipate, left, or didn't shine, you had the shadow. That shadow period. And those who partook of the sun and the sons of the sun, which you'll see, those who partook of the fruit of that, is a great thing. But now you have to take your ass to the end of the line and learn all over again. It's purification. It's like going to the pool. People don't know. When we use Red Hook, big shout out to Red Hook, introducer Junkie's Paradise. The 929, the Nod Factor, Junkie's Paradise. Coming soon your way is there. We're putting it together. We got the green light. Let's make it happen. Let's do the collective. Let all this bickering and fighting about something that you don't know what you're talking about, something you want to get in, fake it, and you fell asleep faking it, and you thought you made something. There's nothing made. It's something is called made, and it's something that's called khalik. You see, it's a lot of things that was not taught, to you when they program you to destroy yourself and anything and everything around you until you find yourself. And then that would take a couple of generations. I think they said 4 represent culture, and then you find yourself with the F for find, and find yourself in a whole nother reality. Some people call it favor, you see. But you find yourself with 5, which you represent the power. Then you can take power and then what it means to you. It can go on and on, but the best thing to do is don't go to the skate rink. That's it. And let's work this out. Get that frustration out. Get your equilibrium up. Get some happiness, and feel the vibes that's there. That's holding on to happiness. that's building. Every last one of them. You know, when I go on the skate rink, I may feel your negative vibes, and I don't like it, but I endure so I can go ahead and be a messiah. Me, Sayat. You see, bringing that the flow. You know, letting you run through my aura. You see, so I can purify you. It's called muklasina. You see, one who's purified. That's the thing about those who lead. Those who lead, they lead so they can help you get past what you're going through. They don't lead because they want to lead. I mean, it's work. And like, big shout out to the Midwest, all the good peoples. And actually it's called Mound City. So, we have what we call Hesperia, disperse. But the way I learned it, not like the way it was defined in the news, in the propaganda. I learned it called exile. And that started way, way back before the papers, the newspapers. You see, so what I'm stating is that it's a bigger thing than what you talking about. What you talking about don't matter. It's bigger. It's called Akbar. It's a continual. It's a continualistic type of lifestyle, always changing, diversity. See, so with science, it can take you anywhere. So you have to be rooted. So now it is stated now, 1400 year something to do for the perfection of you. What is the you? The you is the individual. What is the other you? When you find the other you have a double you, and then you put them together, what you call top and bottom, side to side, whatever you want to put it. Some people use the you, looking for the you, and they stick a star there, and they want to say peace. They got a piece of something. See, all this ramifications and symbolic stuff is over. You see, you will still use it for your edification, but it's not necessary. This is why the Holy Quran, El's Quran, speaks about what to do, how to do. But those who took it and their heart was impure, they wasn't supposed to touch this book. They know now, after years and years of what they talking about and it don't manifest to reality. After everything I do and manifest and people are living lovely, not to mention they don't even know how to say thank you. But the smile on their face, that, the happiness, that's the reward. It's not thank because see these people say things and don't know what that means. If I was to ask you what to thank you mean, what would you say? But as I tell you, and then boom, but we ain't gonna be this way. So I'm gonna write it out the way we do. Something new. It's called New School. The New School Choir. You see? But before we go that, so I would first of all like to say that this Quran in Arabic or Quran in English is not being translated for any Muslim sect. The sole purpose of this translation is to convey as close as possible exactly what the Quran says. For those of the Holy Tabernacle Ministries, HTM, and who is talking about, when and where, to get a clear picture of what this 1400-year old text was saying. Many will be disturbed by the fact that all previous translators translated the Quran for Muslims, when in fact that creates a biased, one-sided opinion which affects a proper translation. If one is a Muslim and attempts to translate the holy book of the Muslims, he or she will tend not to see the contradictions, mistakes, inconsistencies, historical errors, and the like. So now we're looking for contradictions in your life, the mistakes that you're making, inconsistencies that you do, your lifestyle, because it's not perfected. True Islam is a perfected lifestyle. It's a perfected lifestyle. Perfected, what does that mean to you? Perfected means not perfect, like they say. It's something that is preferred by those who know what you know not. That's what it means. Perfected by those who know what you know not. And those who have guarded and taught and kept in mind their own business, as we say, Ashuruka. So we're not going to go into the ifs and the buts and the baps and the baps. We're not going to do it like that. You see, we want you to know that the book is real. The book was for a certain time that no one knew, and those who spoke on it the way they got it, and that was beautiful. And now you know that's not the way it's supposed to be taught. This is a family book, and if you do the research, and you come from down south, Alabama, if you come from down south, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, stuff like that, guess what? A lot of you are part of this. So the best thing you can do now is learn. And the fact that you're so far to the left, when you're supposed to be on the other side, you see, it's like feeding the dead. So this is not for the dead. So as I continue, if you're dead, you need to find yourself resuscitated somewhere else. This is not for you. This is for the living. It's a difference. We're so far away from the dead that the dead don't matter. If a Muslim attempts to translate the holy book of the Muslims, he or she will tend not to see the contradiction, mistake, inconsistencies, historical errors, and the likes. One of the best shields for blocking The intellect was a system called Tajweed, some say Tartil, is a form of recitation by using chanting or marking throughout the text, or simply rhythm and music, by stating it's not music. When actually chanting the Torah, the five books of Moses, Aaron, and Joshua, Shabor, Psalms of David, Injil, Gospel of Jesus, and the Quran of Muhammad, rhythmically is a form of singing. There are hosts of singers such as David Bowie, European; Stevie Wonder, Nubian American; Aretha Franklin, Negro; Barbra Streisand, Jewish American; Willie Nelson, Anglo American; and Julio Iglesias, Spanish; Kulthum, Anglo Egyptian; Ahmed Fah Hassan, Arab or Arab; Yusuf Noor, Senegalese African; and Baba Alatunji, Nigerian African. They all sing differently, however, they all sing the same words and tell the same story in Islam. The hosts of chanters such as Sheikh Abdul Basit, Sheikh Sharari, Sheikh Tadalawi, Sheikh Al-Hasari, and Sheikh Azhar. They all sing stories from the Quran. If they could get you to listen to Sheikh Abdul Basit, for instance, a world-renowned chanter, who sang the Quran beautifully, if they could convince you to convince yourself that while you're listening to music is not music, then they can convince you of anything pertaining to this book. Refer to our Pictures of Sin, scroll 135. The creation of grammar which gave birth to what is called Arabic Fusa, or Classic Arabic, did not exist in the original Quran. There were no dots and the like within the classical Arabic, replacing the Quraysh dialect. The true meaning was lost, which created room for a massive amount of interpretations. The system of Tajweed only weakened the ability to get a clear meaning of the Quran, as so-called scholars removed certain letters, added certain markings, extended certain sounds, and carried sounds over, and ignoring words such as El, which means deity, being ignored for fire, when using a system in grammar called sun letters and moon letters, with certain marks such as wasis or shada and sukun, gives you the right to ignore what you claim. Allah revealed to the Prophet Mustafa Muhammad Alameen Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam letter by letter. In fact, the word El has a meaning in the language that preceded the Quran, that is, the Hebrew Torah. The name for the source, simply El. It was being ignored and replaced when using Tajweed as having the meaning. Then they use Nur, also Nar for fire in Arabic. Fire also said or look. Bismillah, Rahman, Rahim. Or they write Bismillah, Rahman. In both cases, it's wrong. They removed the L with trick grammar. Its sound it should be Basim Allah El Rahman Rahim. These demonic strategies were revealed to widen the gap between the children of Abraham, who all spoke a Shemitic dialect of one language called cuneiform. Cuneiform was the language of the elders. Cuneiform was a spoken as well as a written language. From this language came Adamic, which later became the languages Ashuric, Syriac, and Aramic. In Genesis 11th chapter, first verse, also Genesis 6 to 7, the whole earth was one language first. Now, if you read closely, you will see in verse 6, God separated herself from the planet Earth by saying, and they all have one language. If you say that they all have one language, you are saying that you do not speak that language in which is being spoken, because you just excluded yourself by saying they. Then in verse 7, God goes on to say, confound their language. The word for confound is bala in the Aramic Hebrew, and it means to mingle, confuse, or to confound. This is making it very clear that whatever the people on earth were speaking, it was not being spoken in heaven, where God lived. If it were the language that God was speaking, then he would have said our language, however, it says there, which means that God was speaking something else other than their language. Do you understand? God came down to the planet Earth and confound their language of the planet Earth. That would mean that God was communicating differently. When a language is broken up, it is broken up into different tongues, which are called dialects. Semitic is actually the name of all languages that stem from Shem, who was one of the triplets of Fishtim, or Noah, and Nama. That's Genesis, the 5th chapter, 32nd verse. From Ashur, the second son Shem, and Fatim. That's Genesis 10th chapter, 22nd verse. Came the language of Ashur. Ashur means level plain, and it is a city in Assyria. From Ashuric came the dialect Syriac. Aramic Hebrew is the language of the Arameans. Aramic Hebrew is the language of the Arameans, the descendants of Aram, the fifth son of Shem. In Genesis 10th chapter, 22nd verse. The country he settled in was called Aram. Numbers 32nd chapter, 37th verse. The fact that the language was named Aram after him proved that he was a leader, a chief, a mighty man in his tribe. When the dialect evolved, it usually was named after the most powerful or outstanding member of the tribe or clan. In these cases, it was Aram. Okay, so right here it says tribe or clan. So when I was talking about Missouri, the Missouri tribe, and within the tribe you have clans. So it says, say, this city, that's a political term for a geographical location. It has nothing to do with people. We talking about people, we talking about clans. So we talking about the people from that historical gathering there, from that clan, from there, so to be identified with the collective. Because I came from New York, from the migration from the South, but my people was here all the time in the South, in the Midwest, in Egypt, in the Sudan, Panama, Haiti, Cuba, you see what I'm saying? Ethiopia. But if you don't study to find that self approved to be who you're supposed to be, to pull out your full potential, you won't know. It's like this is part. The Quran is very important. It's the biblical, the book, the passage. Then it has a rich defense mechanism for its purpose, just like Ethiopia has a purpose. Every place has a purpose. We're talking about what we're doing now, the heavens. I'm not talking about the mystical lessons that people have dug up, held on, relics. We're talking about HTM, all the grand knowing, continuation, the knowledge had together, collectively, network, all the 100s, not the stragglers. See, when I talk about Missouri, I'm talking about the first, the hardest, because it was a show me state, but to get to be more than that, to get to be the Mound City. See, very sacred. That's why I'm here. As I do the unfolding, and that's with Yaya Sinclair, the word body, you know, it's gonna unfold what you see gonna unfold. I mean, that was some at the time, physical, what the unfolding? You know what I'm going through right now? Yeah, yeah. Abdul Mukmin, yes, Queens. Okay, big shout out to everybody. Shubi, Coffee, yeah, all that. Abdul Wasi was cool. Abdul Wasi, Abdul Wasi. Uh, hey, it was good brothers there. This is true. You know, these times was very critical times. We're gonna go through them times too. We're gonna definitely go through them times because those are the times. Those are the times need to be explained. But this part here, this part right here, this right there, that need to be right. There you go. That's what we talking about right there. Okay, and everybody that hey, you know. Everybody that don't do right ain't gonna be right. It's time. It's time. It's time. You know. See this. See, going through this, right? It takes you. It takes you there. It takes you there. You see, you can read all these books, and you can go through, see who represented what, who was angelic host, who was De Niro, who was in the Etero. You go through all of that, and these are facts, realities, right before your face. You see the people from the caverns. You see people from different galaxies, different type of people all over. Your eyes is open, ontology. So let's just do what we gotta do and go one at a time in your own lane. Respect is due. Appreciation for everything breathing my goddamn air. That type of thinking. So you just can't. You have to get real with the get down. You know, this ain't no fake. This ain't no fake movement. This is what you put in, what you get out. You know, this is our land. Always remember that. Anybody ever going to take that? If they could take that away, then hey, respect, respect everything, and everything I respect you back. You know, we can get into the spiritual, the spiritual act of what it is, but it was Doctor Malachi. You know, that's you know that's a hell of a way to sign a book. You know, but I'm Skate Master Spock, and I'll be right back. We gonna wind this down and take from the other point. Be right back. In this right here, you know how we do it. BK all day. 929. Remember those numbers.